Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. If you're new here or you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to help us feed a hungry hippo. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Today is September 3rd, so we have 28 days until the start of Q4. The official beginning of the fourth quarter is October 1st. And let me remind you again, that's only 28 days away. There is a plethora of things that we all should have been doing since the summer so that we are prepared and organized as we move towards and into that fourth quarter. I also want to make this statement because I feel like it's important to make, especially for the viewers of this channel. I'm sure a lot of my subscribers are clothing sellers. Q1, the first 3 months of every year, is really busy for clothing resellers. A lot of clothing resellers will refer to Q1 as their Q4. A lot of the reasoning behind that is probably because people get money for Christmas and other holidays and they start spending it. They also get towards their tax returns and stuff like that. So from October until March, we could all be much busier than we normally are, especially if you're a clothing reseller in that first time of the year. So we should have been doing a lot of things. And if you haven't been doing them, it's okay. There's still time. We have 28 days. But I also think it's super important to talk about staying motivated and not getting discouraged. And that's not in correlation with your sales. Of course, if everyone is selling more and making more money in Q4, Star, why would we not be motivated? Why would we be discouraged? Because even though we'll all be excited about the sales and making more money, there's a lot that goes hand in hand with selling more and hand in hand with Q4 and the holidays. You are going to have more buyers canceling orders, lowballing you with lowball offers. You're going to have more buyers doing returns. You're going to have more buyers sob stories on why you need to give Timmy a PS2 for Christmas for $2 or else you're going to ruin his Christmas. There's just a lot of stress with the customer service part of it that comes into play in Q4. I did recently do a video on how to handle those sob stories from buyers when they try to guilt trip you into a discounted price. And in the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing a couple more videos just covering the extra returns and cancellations and things that are going to happen. It happens. It's part of the season. So it's important that you are prepared ahead of time, not only knowing it's going to happen so that you have that acceptance. I want everyone to be calm and accepting of it before it even happens. So when it does happen, you can set your emotions aside because, as I've said before, emotions have no place in business. Every interaction you have with customers, whether they're being a complete asshole or crying about how you ruined their kid's Christmas or clearly lying through their teeth for cancellation or an item not as described, or whether they're the most pleasant person in the world to deal with, you should deal with them all the same way in a very professional, concise, succinct, cookie cutter manner. So you should have responses that come from you that sound like they're coming from a business and like they would go to all customers regardless of what's going on. Big businesses handle customer service in this way. I don't want you to sound like AI or a robot, but when you have these cookie cutter responses, you know what? I need to do a video on that as well. I'm gonna make myself a note. But like, we're sorry you are unhappy with your item. We do accept returns. Please open a return and use the label provided by eBay. Boom, period, end of story. That is a cookie cutter if you accept returns that you can send to the woman who's really nice and says, hey, I no longer want this item or it doesn't fit. How do I return it? You can send the same response to the person who says, you're a liar. This 100% wool item with the 100% wool tag isn't really wool and you're a liar and I hate you and I'm going to tear this up and spit on it, and you can send them the same response. Like, you want to respond to everybody the same way without emotions. You never want to engage customers. You never want to get into arguments with them. You never want to defend yourself or explain yourself. It should always just be a very concise, succinct response that sounds businesslike and like it's a response all people who want to return or all people who want a cancellation get. I'm actually going to do a video specifically on that. I do have a lot of good examples of ones I use, and then I'll do one on the returns. After Christmas is Returnicus, remember that. So yes, I want everyone prepared. I want everyone to already accept all of these things that are going to happen naturally with Q4, so that when they do happen, you can handle them calmly. And while I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek and kind of trying to be funny, there are buyers out there who are going to do these things. I have at least every year been told by a dozen or more people that I ruined their kids' Christmas. I get told all the time that it doesn't matter what the tag says, you're a liar. This isn't this material or this size. Because, you know, you guys, I work at the factory that makes these clothes and I put the tags on. So yeah, I'm trying to be a little funny and tongue-in-cheek, because you can have emotions about these things behind the scenes. You just don't want emotions in your business. You don't want a negative review or one rude buyer to ruin your whole day. You don't want them to be able to spoil your day and put a black cloud over your workspace so the rest of the day you're in a miserable mood. You want to be able to go, oh, this guy is a jerk. Okay, well, let me send him this response, copy, paste, boom, done. On with my day. I'm fine. I'm not having any feelings. You really don't want emotions in your business, especially in the dealing with the customers, if that makes sense. So we're going to talk about that probably a little bit more as we go towards Q4 and a couple more videos, because it's super important. When you're selling more, you're dealing with more people. When you're dealing with more people, you're unfortunately going to see more of the bad people, because there's just so many bad ones out there, percentage-wise, of the good ones. So when you're dealing with more people, you're going to have more run-ins. But people are crazy during the holidays. They like lose their minds. So I also think the holidays does sometimes bring out the scammers and the dishonest people, unfortunately. So going into Q4, yes, being organized, being prepared is super important, but being mentally prepared and knowing how you're going to handle situations is important too. Having a support system in place is so important, because when you do start to get discouraged or you do start to get frustrated, you don't want to sit in your office by yourself and feel these things. So reach out and be a part of the community, however you do it. I'm going to show you my group today. We're going to go over some items. You can see all my tabs at the top. But make sure you're part of a reselling group. You're part of the Instagram community, or that you go to listing parties. If you use List Perfectly, take advantage of those listing parties. Get yourself a support group in place. Get yourself some other reseller friends who will hold you accountable to your goals, cheer with you when you make your sales, and commiserate with you when bad things happen, and help to keep you motivated. So today's video is going to be your ultimate guide to Q4 preparedness, your ultimate viewing guide, and some little tips and tricks on the motivation side, and some helpful tips and tricks in my Facebook group a lot of people don't know about. But let's start with your ultimate viewing guide. I pulled up some videos here. I'm going to link each one of these in the description box down below for you guys, so that you can just click on them and you don't have to search my channel. This one is how to deal with the sob stories and guilt trips from buyers. This is definitely something you want to watch before we go into Q4, so that you're ready for that aspect. This one is building a sustainable business model with available inventory. This is definitely important for everyone to watch any time of year, but this is probably really important going into Q4, especially for folks who live up north or in colder places that may not be able to go outsourcing all the time in the winter. This is 10 things to do now to be ready for Q4. Self-explanatory why that one's important to watch. We have 5 productive things to do when sales are slow. So this was my summer slowdown video, if I could speak. This was my summer slowdown video, but it talked about things you could do in the summer slowdown to get ready for Q4. So this goes along with the 10 things to do for Q4. We have how to build a realistic, sustainable reselling business. This also talks about sourcing and building a good business. This one and building a sustainable business model are both really important watches for you any time of the year, but I recommend them getting ready for Q4. I got some playlists here for you. This is a new series, so there's only 2 in here. Midweek motivation. I just started this a couple weeks ago, and then I missed a week because I was dying of zombie death flu. But every Wednesday, I put out a video with a different theme that I talk about to help you guys stay motivated. So this is something you want to keep your eyes on all through Q4. Every Wednesday, you can see one was 4 minutes, one was 16 minutes. It just depends on the topic. I usually try to pick from either how I'm feeling, what's going on in my life, or what I'm seeing happening in the Facebook groups. I try to kind of keep my finger on the pulse of the reselling world and check Instagram and Facebook groups and see where maybe conversations are happening or people are struggling and do some kind of motivation around that. Spoiler alert, this week's is going to be about the importance of having extra drafts and photos or the bank that I talk about. And that goes hand in hand with me being sick last week and bouncing back so quickly as far as catching up on work. So that'll be tomorrow's. But this is a playlist you can get to. If you guys don't know how to get to playlists, I'm going to show you real quick. So you go to someone's channel, and at the top here, playlists, and you can see I have a bunch. So you can get right to the midweek motivation there, the latest one, or you can say view full playlist there. So this is something you want to keep an eye on, or just check back in on Wednesdays if you need to pick me up. And then I have my List Perfectly one here for a couple of reasons. If you are already a List Perfectly user, check out my playlist of tutorials, because every time someone checks this out or talks to me about this playlist, they say there were at least 1 or 2 items or videos in here of features that List Perfectly is able to do they didn't know about. And that's fine. I mean, that happens all the time. People think List Perfectly is just a cross-posting service, and it does so much more. It adds footers. It adds alerts to keep you from posting things that will get you zeros. It's an inventory management system. It shares your Posh closet. It does so much, and a lot of people don't know all of the things it can do or what they can do with it. And the newest feature is the AI listing assistant, and a lot of people aren't aware of that or don't know really how to use it, and that's this last video down here on the playlist. So I showed you how to get the playlists. You can find this if you're a List Perfectly user. Have a gander through here, because there's a lot it can do that people don't know about. If you're not a List Perfectly user, oh my Lord, you should be, especially going into Q4. If you want to get your death piles listed quickly so that you have more items up for sale when we get into that holiday season, the List Perfectly listing assistant is the way to go. It makes everything so streamlined and so fast, but it also organizes all your inventory for you in one place. It will auto delist items. So if you cross post them and it sells on eBay, it ends your listings for you on every other platform, so you don't have to worry about double sales. It does cross post, but it does all that for you. So when you go into Q4, not only are you going to be able to list more quickly, more items going in, List Perfectly will handle that back end delisting and selling and keeping track of everything. You can try it 30% off your first month with my code Flippin Hippos. Just try it for 30 days for 30% off. You do need the Pro plan to use all of these features that I show here. The Pro plan is $69 a month. So if you want to try it with our code Flippin Hippos, it would be $48 to try it from now through October. I was about to say September. And I guarantee you're going to fall in love. Most people have an average sale price of what, 15 to 20 bucks. So let's say even 15. If you tried it and you started cross-posting to more platforms and listing more items, if you get 3 extra sales in that first month, you've already paid for it. And then you'll have to do maybe 4 or 5 extra sales a month moving forward. And it's worth it. You also get the listing parties I mentioned earlier, which are, well, let me just show you real quick. Since we're going over all the stuff that's good for us for Q4. But the listing parties are Zoom calls, and you can be on camera, muted, off camera, talking, interacting, or just listening. You can be as present as you want to be or not want to be. Some of them are there for folks to teach you stuff. Some are there for social reasons, and some are there for people to just get together and work. There's a customer support every day with the actual tech team from List Perfectly live and ready to go for a full hour where you can just come into the call and get help if you're having issues with List Perfectly. They have 24/7 customer support, but this is like a live call every day that you can go to get like face-to-face support if that's your thing, if you prefer that. Dana from List Perfectly teaches affiliate marketing. They have a daily call called Mastermind. I have a crafting party every Wednesday. So this is not work. This is for us to have a break. You guys know I'm always talking about work-life balance. So we all bring a craft to the party. We craft, but we talk business while we craft. So we're all doing diamond dots or cross-stitching or sewing or coloring books, whatever you want to do. Bring your bullet journal. And we talk business, though. And I have learned so much in these. In fact, a crafting party is where I first heard about jewelry this year and decided to buy a box and try it. And it's now my new love. I also do a true crime party on Fridays. We talk about true crime while we work, while we're listing and taking photos and stuff. Every Friday night, they have this party hosted by my friend Jill that goes all night. They bring wine, they talk, they work. They have a lot of fun. Here's a class about jewelry with Nisha. There's coffee talk. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. These are free and included in your subscription with List Perfectly with any subscription. So it doesn't even have to be the pro. You could be on the simple plan and you can go to all these parties. There's also a 24-hour room. So if none of these are appealing to you, but you want company to hang out with while you work, you can join the 24-hour party. It's just a Zoom call that stays open 24 hours a day, and there's always somebody in there. Some people like to hang out with others while they're taking pictures or working. That's what that's there for. Or if you have an urgent question that you need answered now, I think that's worth the money for your subscription right there. Because most people go to the Facebook or the Instagram and they'll ask for help from people, and you have to wait till people see your post and respond to you. You can literally go in this Zoom call and ask somebody a question and boom, answered. It does not have to be List Perfectly related. So a lot of these Zoom calls and the 24-hour hangout, you can ask for help specifically with something you're struggling with on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Facebook, whatever. It does not always have to be List Perfectly. Okay, so that's the List Perfectly. Again, I would recommend just trying it, signing up, 30% off, just to get your inventory organized and your death piles listed before Q4. And let's get into some tips and tricks a lot of people don't know about. So I did mention you should be part of a reselling community. I always recommend my Facebook group. It is a very small, intimate, positive group by design. I don't want turds. I don't want attitude problems in this group. It's a very positive place full of really nice people who will help you if you need help. And I encourage you, if you can help others, help them, right? But a lot of people don't know about this section specifically. This is the group. If you're not part of it, join it. If you go into the group and you go up to the top under media and you go to albums, there is an album called Helpful Photos for Listing. Y'all, Fashion Dictionary for Shoes. The different types of heels on shoes explained with photos. Different kinds of patterns. How to describe coats. This is a pea coat. This is a frock coat. Blouse types. Other patterns are here. There's a plaid cheat sheet. Why can I not say plaid cheat sheet? Y'all know what I mean. There's handbooks. There's the standard U.S. size apparel chart with measurements. More hand guys, more shoes, skirts, More patterns, jeans. It goes on and on with, here's how to remove permanent marker, the different types of collars, pockets, bras. A lot of people don't know that this is in the group, and it's here for you. But I don't know if you also saw when you go to albums, there's glassware identification. So if you do sell glasses, this is 4 photos here to help you identify your glasses. Okay, if you go up to files on the top here, I never did take this down because I think it's still relevant. There's a mental health wellness tips for quarantine that you can read. Because mental health is important all the time. And yes, quarantine was a whole different thing, but we're still isolated as resellers, and it can be very lonely, which is why it's so important to be part of the community. I left that in there. There's the glossary of reselling terms and the reseller's toolbox. So this is actually like a list of all the things that you need as a reseller. They are affiliate links. And then the glossary is just a helpful if you're new to reselling. This is what ASP means. This is what BOLO means. Drop shipping, GTC. This is a really, really good list of terms for anyone that is new. So that's all in my group. So that's helpful. And then I was just going to mention, make sure you're following me on Instagram. I do a motivational post every single morning, just something to start your day off, to get you in the right mindset. Sometimes they're a little humorous and funny. I try to keep those for the weekends. I sometimes do motivational videos about work-life balance. I do funny ones. But if you're looking for motivation, I do little motivational things every single day. And Instagram's a really good place for resellers. I feel like the community on there is pretty big, but pretty supportive as well. But just make sure you're part of the community somewhere, whether it's listing parties, my reselling group, another reselling group, Instagram. The TikTok reselling community is there also, but it's still kind of growing and small. I feel like the Instagram one is like solid. It's real solid, full of resellers. And then, of course, these are the videos you should take your time to view in the next week or so. You guys, I'm here to help, okay? This is a teaching channel, and I love to teach. I want to support everyone else to be a successful business. I think there's room for everyone at the top, and I also think that it is everyone's responsibility to reach a hand down to pull someone else up here with us, because we all had someone help us in the beginning. So you have to pay it forward, and that's what I'm always trying to do. I'm always trying to pay it forward. I want to teach you guys. I want to help you guys. I want you to be successful. This isn't just a, hey, watch my videos. This is I really put time and thought into these videos, and they are full of really good information to help you be successful in Q4. And I really want to make sure that you have that information, that you view these videos or at least listen to them in the background, so you have that information and tips and everything at your fingertips. These are super important, and I really feel like I put information in there that's you need to know. And again, you don't have to sit down and watch them. Put them on in the background. You don't even need to look at my face. Just put them on and listen while you work. Maybe something will hit home and you'll learn something, or you'll figure something out, or you'll be able to get more organized for Q4. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know down below. Guys, go get ready for Q4. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.